Are you the person that leaps at new journeys in life with great faith and enthusiasm, where there seems to be no fear in you at all? Or are you the other person who wavers in faith and walks in fear in the face of a change and new endeavors that come to your path, a new journey that comes to your life? These are all great questions to ponder and ones that we're going to dive into today. Well, welcome everyone. I am so glad that you are here with me today. This podcast focuses on the idea that we are all created on purpose, for a purpose, with a purpose, to create a ripple in someone else's life. Hi, I am Dara, and I am the host of this podcast. If this is your first time joining me, welcome, and I hope that you enjoy our time together today. Well, let's dive into these questions I asked at the beginning. Are you the person that leaps into a new journey with great enthusiasm, without any fear? Or are you the one that wavers with your faith and your walk, and you walk in great fear? Well, these are some things that I have thought about this week as I have helped my youngest daughter prepare to go off to college for the first time. This is my last child to make that move and step into a new journey in her life. I've done this many times before. As we've walked through this week, we have been through some very ups and downs and emotions. We've had lots of discussions about the next steps and how to navigate this time in her life. Well, all of this week has prompted these questions for me and brought me to think about a story in the Bible that seemed to have a similar scenario of what we've been going through and walking through this week with the ups and the downs, the faith and the fear. If you're not familiar with the story, there's a story about Joshua and Caleb, two men that were warriors who were chosen with other group of men and warriors by God to go and seek out a new land that God had chosen for the Israelites. They were asked to go and investigate this land to see what it was like and what the people who lived there were like, so that they could make a plan to possess this land. This story is found in the book of Numbers in chapters 13 and 14 in the Bible. But as this story goes, these two men went with this large group of men. They all went to spy on this land, and they were gone for a little while. And then when they went and they all returned together, out of all the men, Joshua and Caleb were the only two that reported that they could take this land and possess it. The other men said, "Oh, no, we can't do this." The land was full of milk and honey, and it was lush, and it had lots of wonderful attributes to it, and it was so much better than the desert that they had been walking in. So Joshua and Caleb, that's what they saw. They saw the adventure ahead. They saw the amazing, wonderful things that this new land possessed for them. But the other men, all they could see was the fear. They saw the men that lived there, the people that lived there, they saw them as giants. And they were big, but they saw them as giants they couldn't take. They saw it as the side of fear rather than the side of faith and enthusiasm that they could take on anything. So this made me think about this story as we were going through the ups and downs of emotions this week with my daughter as we were navigating all the things she needed to do to get ready to go to school. And this is where some of you have been walking as you are getting your kids ready to go back to school. For parents and students, this has been a time of newness and excitement for some, and for some it has been a time of fear and great anxiety. Why do you think that might be? And I would say, what do you think we could do as we're walking through this with our kids to help to move them forward into this new time, this new life with enthusiasm and excitement, and to embrace the journey and the adventure ahead rather than walk in fear and anxiety as they move forward. Well, as I've done this many times, sending my kids off to school each year with a new year, dealing with fear and dealing with excitement and confidence for the new adventure, it has been an up and down wavering of faith and fear. And as a parent, I was excited for my kids to start fresh and to start a new year, to seek new interests, learn new things, to create new friendships and explore their gifts and talents. But I was also faced with the what ifs that could bring fear and questions and doubt. For me, as a parent, what my kids would face to prepare them for that. And really and truly, this year has not been any different with my youngest daughter as we're even moving her into college this year. I've seen her face some great feelings and emotions, walking with great confidence in knowing that she has this new adventure and this new time to explore and learn new things, to challenge herself and to learn and lean into herself and to God in a way she never has before. But for her to also fight giants of fear and of the giants that she's going to face, and to walk in great joy as she welcomes this adventure, but also walks in the fear. So I've been praying over that she is able to walk in this, in her new experiences, and find new friendships every day. So let's go back to the story of Joshua and Caleb. What happened to them? They came back, they reported, they talked about what the possibilities were, and they were so excited, but the other men were so negative and walked in fear. So what do you think happened? Well, God sent Joshua and Caleb because they were more confident. They were excited to go and do what God had called them to do. They walked in it with confidence and faith. So what they did is they went back and they conquered the land. They conquered the giants, and they stood in the face of what they had seemed to be to others as a great task that could not be won. But they took that challenge on with great confidence in the abilities that God had given them, coupled with the trust and the faith that they had in God, to do what God had called them to do and to walk the new journey that He had called them into. They came, they stood, and they embraced the new. For some of you, this seems like a very easy thing, and it can be hard, but it's wrapped with a confidence that will bring us to a new place, new outcomes, and even greater confidence to walk in what God is calling in our lives. For others, they're still hesitant and walking in fear with a lack of confidence. So in order to conquer this fear and to bring you to the level of the confidence that Joshua and Caleb had, that faith in God, that trust in God, the faith in themselves that they could do what God called them to do, I would take the time to talk with your kids, those that are still in primary school and secondary school, and even the ones that are going off to college. Talk to them about standing each day in God's Word, reading His Word. Even do this with them, those parents that still have kids at home. Take time to write down the little moments of victories each day. The college students especially, this is discussions that I have with my daughter. Take time to write the joys and the laughter, the accomplishments for that day. It doesn't have to be something big. It can be where they tried something new that they found was really amazing. They made a new friend. They gained new insight to a concept they were learning in a classroom. And they reached a goal that they had of getting something done or achieving something. It could be in athletics or theater or art or just in a class. Find the wins and celebrate them. That's the best way to conquer fear and to move forward step by step into that new journey. When you do this, you'll soon realize that the fear has gone and been replaced with a newness inside that will bring hope to the future. How exciting is that? Well, today I'm going to leave you with this thought to hold on to. Embracing the fear, taking it one day at a time, one step at a time, one victory and one win at a time. To walk that new journey, that new exciting time, to be able to learn and to grow and to move forward into this new time. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this podcast today, and I hope that you'll come back to join me again next week. If you've enjoyed today's episode, I am sure you know someone out there that will benefit from it, so please pass it on. Like this episode, share it with others, and pass it on so no one misses out. Also, if you'd like to hear more on this topic or on this story or how to move forward, or even previous episodes that you've listened to, that I've talked about other topics, please email me, make a comment, make suggestions. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to talk about other topics and things that I haven't talked about. I enjoy being here and enjoying being with you. So again, thanks for being with me today. And remember, you were created for a purpose, on purpose, and with a purpose to create a ripple to wave in someone else's life. Be blessed and be encouraged. Till next time.